Good morning, guys. There is a saying that when it rains, it pours. Okay? And yesterday was one of such days. So, a number of top teams dropped points when they shouldn't. Man City dropping points to Crystal Palace. Bolton losing. Sevilla, I think, losing as well. Plus, and Celtic, losing at home. And these were all home matches. So, but what we've observed, because we've been in this business for a long time, what we've observed is that the week following the Champions League and Europa week, especially the first Saturday, the Saturday after that Champions League and Europa League games, always have upsets. We are not sure why, but it happens every single time. That Saturday has a lot of upsets. It always does. But then Sunday becomes better, right? So I think my explanation for that would be that the games do come maybe too soon for teams that play on Saturday. So if you played a Champions League game on Tuesday or on Wednesday and you play on Saturday again, you are beyond exhausted. So, but if you get to play on Sunday, that means you had an extra day of rest. So usually teams that play on Sunday do better, and it's for this reason that we expect today will be fantastic. And of course, we've put together 4+ recovery odds for you guys, split into tickets, well analyzed. And of course, we're going to take time to take you guys through. And I mean, it's for this reason you should join our premium service, our VIP Sure Odds. You'll find the link in the comment section for more information. If you want to join, quickly chat there. I'm on Telegram. The username is there in the comment section. So the goal is to win at least 4 or 5 times out of 7 days, and we've done that a number of times on our free tips in this channel. So you can only expect how good the premium service will be. So achieving 4 to 5 wins every week is highly achievable for us. So without wasting time, let's get into it. The very first game we have is Arsenal versus Brighton. So we look at Arsenal at home. 5 matches played, 5 wins. They've been very, very good and very, very consistent. Now you look at Brighton away from home. 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And their head-to-head paints an interesting story. It paints a really, really interesting story, actually. It's a story where Arsenal has lost a couple of times, right, to this Brighton team. But then it's understandable. Last season, especially towards the end of last season, Arsenal was in all sorts of form. They lost momentum. It actually started, I think, from November 2022, and then they started losing a lot of points. They just lost their momentum in that moment. And the current Brighton team isn't as strong, right, as the team of last season. So last season, they had all those guys that have now been sold to Liverpool and to other clubs, and those guys were pretty solid. Currently, this team isn't as strong as that team, and I really don't see them defeating Arsenal at all. Arsenal is on a different level this season with new players in the midfield, in the attack, doing magical stuff. And Arsenal is pretty serious this season. So it's a simple game. It's a game that Arsenal cannot afford to lose. Their current form shows that it's a game Arsenal will do very well in. So for the sake of our prediction, okay, we are giving Arsenal a draw no bet at odds of 1.20. It's important we look at their standings. Looking at their standings will help us understand why Arsenal will not joke with this game. So you look at their standings, Arsenal is position 2. There has never been a better time for Arsenal to win the league title than this season. And Arteta will look at Manchester City's game yesterday, right, and tell himself, this is our opportunity. Because Manchester City drew and Crystal Palace, and they will lose more points. They continue to lose more points. So the Arsenal team and coach will look at this game with high anticipation of winning. So a draw no bet for Arsenal at odds of 1.20. The next fixture we have is a game from the England Premier League. It's West Ham versus Wolves. So you look at West Ham at home, fantastic display. 4 wins and 1 draw. 4 wins and 1 draw, and they've beaten and drawn some really important teams during this period. Now you look at Wolves away from home. Wolves has been in very, very shocking form. They've been in very shambolic form. And then you look at their head-to-head, and it's a fixture that West Ham has won 3 times and lost just twice. But in recent times, they have won this fixture 3 times. So for the purposes of our recovery odds, because we need to recover today, we will give West Ham a 2 goals handicap. So you are saying, let's assume that West Ham even loses this game. They are not going to lose by 2 goals. And the data supports that. Because you even look at West Ham, they haven't lost a single game in the last 5 matches. So if things should go so bad for West Ham, the worst that can happen is that West Ham will potentially draw this game in 90 minutes. It's also important we look at their standings. So when you look at their standings, one thing you see for sure is that West Ham is position 9. Right? They want to climb in to the top 6 places. And they have a very good opportunity of making it into the top 3 places. Wolves is closer to the relegation table and struggling really bad. So this is going to be a very simple game for West Ham. It's a game West Ham should actually win in view of Wolves' shocking form. But for purposes of this prediction again, we will give this West Ham team a 2 goals handicap at 1.10. The next fixture we have is an interesting game involving my shambolic team, Manchester United playing Liverpool. So it's going to be a very interesting game, and it's a game that should see goals. You look at Liverpool last 5 matches, and their last 5 games have yielded 3.5 goals. Literally speaking, 3.5 goals at home. Then you look at Manchester United away from home, and their last 5 matches have equally yielded 2.5 goals away from home. You look at their head-to-head, and one thing you see 100% is that this is a fixture that has seen games scored, right? It's a fixture that has seen a lot of goals scored, right? So 2.5 goals, over 1.5 goals, 3.5 goals a couple of times. So this is going to be a very simple prediction, a very simple game. It's a game that you see over 1.5 goals in 90 minutes, 100%. Right? Even if they should take off all the strikers for the 2 teams, over 1.5 goals will happen. It's just strange because they score a lot of goals when they play each other. So the odd for over 1.5 goals for this game is 1.11. And the final game for this particular collection is Real Sociedad versus Real Betis. So you look at Real Sociedad, 5 matches, 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And it's interesting, we look at the game Real Sociedad lost. They lost to Barcelona. And Barcelona is a strong team, right? But every other team that's on their level or slightly below them, they've either drawn or won. And then you look at Real Betis away from home, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. And of course, their head-to-head paints an interesting story where Real Betis has beaten them, I think, twice, while they've drawn the other fixture. But then the interesting thing is that this season, Real Sociedad is on a whole different level. They've been very, very brilliant, especially at home. Their home is a fortress. Look at them not losing a single game. They've been very, very consistent in the Champions League and also in their league matches. So one thing we can be sure of is, even if worse should come to worse, we can expect Real Sociedad to win or draw this fixture in 90 minutes, or potentially give them a draw no bet because it's a game they should actually win. Real Betis is not very good this season. They are not the Real Betis of last season and 2 seasons ago. So if Real Sociedad should play their best, they should win or draw this fixture in 90 minutes. And the odd for them to win or draw is 1.29. And of course, you have the booking code for the Sporty Bet booking and the 1xBet as well. So the next one, which will give another 2.35 odds, is Las Palmas versus Cadis. It's from Spain, for anyone wondering. So you look at Las Palmas, 5 matches played, 4 wins and just 1 loss. And apparently the team they lost to Rayo is a pretty strong team, and understandably so. And now you look at Cadis, away from home, last 5 matches played, 2 losses, 2 draws, and just 1 win. And of course, their head-to-head shows that it's a fixture that Las Palmas has won twice, drawn once, and lost twice. Again, the interesting thing about this fixture is Las Palmas has been in very incredible form this season. They weren't doing very well last season, but this season they're a different side, as you can see. They're a very different side this season, playing fantastic football, as you would expect. So we want to check their current standings to see where the 2 teams are and how competitive they will be. So Las Palmas is position 9. As I said, they've been very fantastic this season. So Las Palmas is position 9. And they're very, very close to the Europa League places. And I think they'll look at it, and that should give them an extra incentive to push that. And then you look at Cadis. Cadis is in the relegation places, position 18. So when you look at their form, the quality of the 2 teams, and what Las Palmas brings to the table, it is very, very obvious that this is a fixture that Las Palmas will win or draw in 90 minutes. Okay? So the prediction for this game is we are giving Las Palmas a draw no bet in 90 minutes. It's a game they should beat Cadis, because Cadis has been in very shocking form. So a draw no bet for Cadis is priced at 1.39. The next fixture we have for you guys is again from the Spain La Liga. It's Real Madrid versus Villarreal. So you look at Real Madrid at home, 4 matches played and 1 draw. 4 games won and 1 draw, right? And despite their huge and many injuries, they've been very consistent, delivering at the highest level whenever you call on them. And given how competitive La Liga has been this season, and with Real Madrid not being sure of the Champions League, because at the moment you have a lot of strong teams competing for the Champions League title. Don't write off Man City yet. They always come back. They are second half of the season AFC. So they will come back strong in the second half of the season. So it's a simple prediction, right? Now you look at Villarreal away from home, 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And of course, their head-to-head paints a very, very interesting story that shows that this is a fixture Real Madrid has won 3 times and lost once. And now, interestingly, the last time, or the only time Real Madrid lost in their last 5 meetings was towards the end of the season. At that time, it was already determined that Barcelona was going to win the title, so there wasn't much incentive for Real Madrid to play really well and win the game. So we have every reason to believe. I mean, when you look at their standings, you understand better why Real Madrid cannot afford. They can't even afford to draw this game. That's the interesting thing. They can't even afford to draw because it's getting very heated at the top. Extremely heated for this team. So you look at Real Madrid, position 2, right? Girona has given them, I think, a 3-point lead. So if they pull a draw or fail to win in 90 minutes, then that's going to be like 5 points gap. So again, as I said, they ought for Real Madrid to win or draw this fixture in 90 minutes, or a draw no bet actually for Real Madrid is 1.09. The next game we have for you guys is from the German Bundesliga. It's Bayern Leverkusen versus Eintracht Frankfurt. So you look at Bayern Leverkusen, another very consistent team, 4 wins and 1 draw. Eintracht Frankfurt away from home hasn't been very solid, 3 losses, 1 win and 1 draw. And then you look at their head-to-head. And their head-to-head shows Bayern Leverkusen has outclassed Eintracht Frankfurt every single time. Again, it's a game Bayern Leverkusen should win in 90 minutes. But given the fact that Bayern Leverkusen did participate in the Champions League, even though it was a relatively easy game, we have to acknowledge the fact that fatigue could set in. So we need to give Bayern Leverkusen a double chance at odds of 1.10. And of course, the final game we have for you guys is from the Germany Bundesliga, Freiburg versus Cologne. So you look at Freiburg, right? 5 matches played, 2 wins and 2 draws and 1 loss. And the game they lost, interestingly, was a cup game, and it doesn't seem they were really interested in going forward in that competition. Now you look at the away team. Cologne, last 5 matches, Cologne has lost twice, won twice, and drawn once. And their head-to-head shows that it's a fixture that Freiburg has lost just once in 5 meetings. It also helps that we look at their standings to better understand where the two teams are and how competitive they will be. So when you look at their standings, one thing you see for sure is this is a game that would truly matter to Freiburg. Freiburg used to be in the top 4, top 5 places. So being position 8, I don't think it's something they'll be too happy with. And touching distance away from the top 4 places, I think that should give them extra motivation to pick an extra 3 points and potentially leapfrog Offenham into the 6th position. So it's going to be a very interesting game, and we are double chancing Freiburg, right? To not lose this game. So for that reason, it's a draw no bet for Freiburg at odds of 1.40. And of course, we have the booking code for you guys. The Sportybet booking code, the 1xBet booking code. And please, do well to like this video, do well to subscribe, do well to share with your friends. We deeply, deeply appreciate your support. And rest assured that I have every love and appreciation for you guys. And see you shortly.